I would like to share with you a story that you've never heard before. And the reason why I'm interested in sharing this story is because Lent this year has too many distractions. There's way too many distractions to really tune in to the season of Lent. We're supposed to be repenting, returning to God, and then asking God to repair our brokenness. Now, as far as like an image of what that means, this story does a great job of that. So this story is called Perfect Brokenness by Anthony White. I know Anthony, and he's given me permission to use this story for this video that I'm sharing with you here today. This is for Transformation Tuesday here at All Saints. So here we go. Perfect Brokenness by Anthony White. There once was a master builder who was the son of the Creator. He lived in the universe of beauty that his father, the Creator, had made. It was the master builder's sole purpose to take what was old and worn and give it new purpose and identity. The master builder gave what was created a special understanding, a sense of its own reason for being. The master builder's father, the Creator, had made all that the eye could see, and over time, the master builder showed all of creation its purpose and for being. He showed the clouds how to pour forth rain, turn into rivers, flow to the oceans, and become clouds again. He showed the mountains how to age with the flow of water from the clouds and over time break down into the soil of the plains. He showed all the plants and animals that lived in the valleys and plains how in their living and dying they had purpose. One plant's life and death made room and food for the next. Each animal took its place and in its own way gave place to the next in a complex web of life, death, and then life again. Each element of creation had its purpose and its place. Their very identity was bound to fulfilling the purpose it was given, a purpose to serve in both life and death. Now the master builder took some of the mountain stone and some of the forest wood and set it aside for a special purpose. He then chose a parcel of land with a commanding view of his father's creation along a path that he had made. From this stone and wood, the master builder made a home to live in. He started with showing a layer of stone how to be a foundation. He taught other stones how to be walls, the door how to be a means of entry and exit, and the window how to be transparent so that light would come in and one could see out. It was a simple yet sturdy home. The window was in one wall, the door was in the opposite wall, and between was a table for eating. It was strange that it was a home for the master builder because it seemed to be so much larger than what he would ever need. In the house, there were rooms for many people to stay, and at the table, there was room for many people to eat. As the house came to completion, the master builder shared his vision for its purpose. It was to be a place for weary travelers to rest, and the table where strangers became family as they shared a meal. Now, the window that was in the master builder's house looked at the rest of the house and noticed how unique it was. There was nothing else like the window in the house. Over time, it grew proud, forgetting its purpose and identity that the master builder had given it. The window forgot how important the wall was, as it was the walls that gave it a secure place to stay. It discarded the shutters that protected it from the weather. As time passed, the window started to separate from the wall. During a storm, the window fell from its secure place in the wall and shattered on the ground. The shards of the window were sharp, and travelers began to avoid being near the window for fear of being cut by its edges. People did not visit the house like they did before because without the window in its proper place, It was not warm and dry. The window saw how foolish it had been, and it despaired. In its despair, it grew angry and bitter because the travelers avoided it. The master builder saw the state that the window was in and how its brokenness affected the identity and purpose of the whole house. The master builder was sad because the meal that made weary travelers one family could no longer be served, and so he set about righting the wrong that had been done. He said to the window, "If you let me, I can give you a new and greater purpose." The window, in bitter despair, said, "What can one do with someone so broken like myself? I'm a danger to all who come by. It is better that you cast me away and put in a new window." "So it would seem," said the master builder, "but I am capable of more than you could ever imagine." The window said, "What would you do with the likes of me?" "You will have to trust and see what glorious things I can do with such brokenness," said the master builder. "But before I can do anything, you must give me your consent." The window, not fully convinced that anything could be done, said, "I guess it can't hurt. One can't be any more broken than I. You can try." With that, the master builder began to painstakingly pick up each shard of glass, and the window said, "If you continue to do that, my broken nature will cut you. It's my nature now. I can't help it." "Yes, I know, but it's the only way," responded the master builder, and with that, he continued picking up each shard of glass one piece at a time until the whole window had been accounted for. Then the master builder took the window in its shattered state and, holding it close to his person, despite the sharp cuts, he bore it to the table inside. There, the master builder laid out each shard on the table, and paying no mind to the cuts that the shards delivered, he assembled the window. He spent many long hours putting together all the shards, and when the master builder was done, he secured the window back in its place in the wall. To the surprise of the window, it was not the same. There was something profoundly different about its purpose and identity. It was not until the light of grace from the sun that poured through the window that he realized what was different. When the master builder put him back together, with each shard cutting his hands, the window became covered in blood, and it was by this blood the window had become transformed into a stained glass window. The honor of the window's identity was more than it had originally been, because its brokenness was not removed but given value and purpose. Now, as a stained glass window, its purpose told a story of the master builder's love and forgiveness, something that the stained glass window could never have hoped for. The window looked long and hard at each fracture and shard and how that was given new purpose, and he marveled at the skill of the master builder. It was as if the brokenness had been planned for. And with that, he said with astonishment, "Did you know that I would break?" "Yes, I knew," admitted the master builder with a knowing smile. "My father and I created you knowing full well how broken you would choose to become, which means that our forgiveness to you extends from the moment of your creation." "But why would you allow me to choose such brokenness?" asked the window. In reply, the master builder thoughtfully asked, You see all the strangers that come and eat at my table? Yes, said the window. Well, said the master builder, they were not always strangers. They were once part of my family, but due to their pride, they separated and became strangers. So I've created this meal so they can be family again. My family. But, said the window, what does that have to do with me? Well, said the master builder, I needed to show them the meaning of the meal through an image of love and forgiveness so that they could see and remember the beauty and meaning of being my family again. You are that image.